right, so here we are approaching our first destination ever on this new channel. And just to give you a rundown, the channel is about not just cemeteries, it's all just about basically forgotten places and things that we drive by every single day, and we actually forget, just take for granted. There's a lot of beautiful, rich history in these places that have been forgotten. But, you know, that's why I'm doing the channel, trying to revive and not allow these great historical places to be forgotten. So, first thing we're doing is we're going to visit the All Faiths Cemetery. This is the the older section of the All Faiths Cemetery. And that's the way I enter. And as you can see, it's a beautiful cemetery that has a lot of rich history and a lot of old monuments and different things. And along the way, if we see anything that looks really interesting, we'll stop and we'll take a closer look. Also, a lot of cars in here today. There usually isn't. It's a weekday. It's a Tuesday, about 11:45, just before noon. Usually it's a lot quieter than it even is now. And for those who are wondering, I'm actually just filming all this footage via my my old bike. So this is the first point of interest, and this is the receiving tomb. And I don't know if you could see that, but it says 1907 on the top there, and you can see it's pretty run down, pretty old. Now this would be where they would put the incoming bodies that needed to be buried. And they would do that when it was winter time, back at the turn of the century, and before that it was a popular thing that cemeteries would have something like that, because when the ground was frozen solid, you know, these graves a lot of them used to be dug pretty much by hand, or with very, very weak machinery, not able to penetrate the frozen ground. So that's one of the main reasons on why they would have a receiving tomb or receiving vault, whatever you'd like to call it. And what that did was it allowed them to be kind of like a hotel for the incoming people that were going to be buried here. They would let them rest there until they were able to start digging again when the ground wasn't frozen anymore. Sometimes they would stay there as long as the whole winter. And yeah, it's pretty amazing how that old building is still there. And I don't know if it's in use anymore. I don't think it is. It looks pretty much like a ruin. But you know what? I like that they kept it there, because the original architecture and the history behind it is very nice. And as you see, this is the older section that I'm going through right now, and now it comes up to a newer section that they probably added more recently. When you can see the difference, the graves are a lot more closer together, and not as ornate, very plain. When you look at the other side, you can see a little bit more older stones, headstones. I'm just taking you through this way so you can see that even in this old cemetery, they actually have some modern spots where I guess people are still being buried. As we can see over there, there's a plot. I'll come around the other side so can see it better. And a lot of activity today, of course. Usually not many people here, but I guess this is the newer section. As you can see, there's some bigger, newer monuments that they put up here, which is pretty interesting. And I'm going to take you back around. You can see the spot. It looks like a new inhabitant of a cemetery. As you can see right there, there's a new grave being put in. And what we'll do is we'll turn back around and we'll see that at closer. And then show you some of the newer style, I guess they're called crypts or mausoleums. I'm thinking more of a crypt than a mausoleum because I believe the mausoleums are usually bigger and they house many, and these are usually referred to as crypts. I'm not really too sure, but either way, these look more modern, as you can see them on the left-hand side as I pedal across these speed bumps here. But it looks like a decent amount, about 4 or 5 of them. They look pretty new. I don't see any years on them though. Oh, 1995. Okay, so that one's at 1995, so that's not too new, but it's newer compared to some of the other ones we're going to see as we continue going on. You're going to see some really, really old ones, and along with that, and I'll say it in all my videos, when you go through a cemetery, you know, it's sacred grounds, and especially this is an all-faith cemetery, so many different backgrounds, religions, beliefs that are buried here, and you have to have the utmost respect for everyone, the utmost respect for their belief systems, what they believed in, and I never condone tampering or causing damage or any type of, you know, not good behavior when traveling through a cemetery. So with these videos, the sole purpose is not to, you know, pervert or expose. It's just to show how things can be very forgotten. And my next example of that will be here. So this is a little quiet section back here. And you can see these stones. It's almost like ruins when you think about it. So when you look here and you see how beautiful these old little miniature graveyards almost, you just don't see this stuff anymore. And you know, that's 1891, and as you can see back here, it's sad because straight ahead you can see that some of the statues and some of the stones have collapsed, fell over. And because it's such an old section of the cemetery, and it's such an old cemetery itself, unfortunately, a lot of people who are buried here, their families probably don't even have any family anymore. So you don't have families come and check on them, check on the stones, you know. And here, what we'll do here is we'll go right over here and get a little closer so you can see. I mean, look at that. It's just sad. It's sad that these stones fell down like this, and no one could actually fix them, or nobody knows to even fix them. I mean, you look at some of these gravestones and the dates on them. They died in 1885. Looks like 1885. Yeah, and there's even older ones here too. So, you know, I doubt there's any family members that are still alive. I mean, here's another stone. Unfortunately, another two look like they fell over, and it's just sad. It's almost like ruins rather than monuments and cemeteries anymore. Just I understand, you know, it's hard to upkeep on everything, but it's this is the reason why we're doing this. You know, we're out here. That branch just fell down, and here's another section where you see some stuff that's collapsed. That one fell over completely. And a lot of bugs, but yeah, we'll continue on. We'll go through this nice little pathway here, and we will take a little bit of the old route. And you can see another stone fell down. I'm sorry for the beep. It's my mile counter on the bike. Next time I gotta shut that off when I film a video. Let's get back on track again. See what else we got here, and we'll continue on with the tour. That was just a notable section that I think would be nice to add on the video. I'm gonna stay a little quiet now and just allow you to enjoy the sights of this old cemetery. I'll just add, this is what I mean when I say we drive by this every day. We walk by this every day. Nobody even pays it a second glance. Myself included, I'm guilty of that. For years living in this area, I never thought to actually come inside and see what type of historical landmarks and monuments that are in here. Just drove by it, didn't pay mind to it. As you can see, right alongside a main road. Thousands of people travel and walk past it every day, and just never think to glance and remember all these people that are in here. And a little piece of history for you guys out there. This is we're in Queens right now. It's the borough of Queens, and notoriously Queens is known for probably, I think, the most cemeteries in all of the 5 boroughs. Actually, there's twice the population of dead than there are living in Queens. And I got that fact from somewhere. I watched it or seen it on another video somewhere or read it somewhere, but yeah. So twice the amount of people alive right now. You're surrounded by, I mean, twice the amount of dead people surround the amount of people that are living right now in Queens. So I think the utmost respect and remembrance for these people, and that's exactly what they are. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. They get very I guess weirded out by cemeteries, and you got to remember, these are people like you and I, people that once lived and enjoyed the same things that we've done too. Yeah, like having good times, fun, you know, parties, laughing, humor. So I don't think that you have anything to worry about, you know, as long as you're respectable. You know, I'll tell you, you know, I wouldn't mind if people came to see my monument. I think that's partially the reason why a lot of these people that are buried here, and especially back in the day, why they had such elaborate monuments. I mean, look at these monuments. These are old. You don't see stuff like that anymore. And we're getting back to where we started at the front here. We'll venture in a little bit deeper. So now this, I believe, is pretty new. Looks like a mausoleum, like an outdoor mausoleum. I'm gonna try and get around so you guys can see it better. But just look at the countryside. I mean, it's hard to believe you're even in the city right now. If nobody told you or showed you where the streets met up, it'd be very easy to believe that you'd be somewhere in a small town, you know, away from everything. But I don't know. I'm trying to find where that mausoleum entrance is, or how I get closer to it. So I have been in these cemeteries before. I haven't seen everything, and I'm sure I'll be coming back again and finding new things. But so we're pretty much exploring this together. For pretty much, some things will be the first time. I haven't gone down every road or path. These roads are hard to get up, I'll tell you that much. Okay. So here you go. This is what I was talking about before. I'm trying to find the entrance to it. Another statue fell down. Very sad. But yeah, looks like I found it. There's actually a better pathway than what I took. Okay, let's have a look inside. I have family in a mausoleum like this in another cemetery not too far away from here, which maybe we will be able to spend a day there too. The architecture is still very beautiful. I like how the voice echoes. This is fairly modern, but the design is really nice. Mostly, these are fairly new, I think, or of the last maybe a couple of years. Oh, look at that. I just saw somebody with the same last name as me. Interesting. But yeah, so that's basically the outdoor mausoleum. It's very nice. And the view is amazing from up here. You can really see there's a lot of good views in these cemeteries, you know. But we'll keep going. We'll see what else this historical wonder has for us, in store for us. That's where we were before, down there by the main road. And now we'll go venture a little deeper in. Now this section of the cemetery is not as big as the newer section, which is across the street. We can check that out. Probably do that another day, because I don't know how long. I don't want to keep this video too long. I want to keep it hopefully under an hour or around an hour if possible. Might not even be that long, but that's why I'm going to try and keep all my videos around the hour mark or under an hour. And I think that's a nice time frame to see a lot, you know, and learn a little bit about it. And another statue down. It's sad, it really is. But it's to be expected in these old cemeteries because, you know, weather, inclement storms, we've been having a lot of that lately, high winds. Any of that can take its toll on these things, especially when they're almost over 100 years old, or well over 100 years old on some of them. You know, some of them are almost reaching the 200-year mark. You know, when I see some of the earlier ones I've seen in the past with the early 1800s, yeah, think about that. It's 2024. So in 2000, it was, you know, if let's say it was 1809. In 2009, it was 100 years old. So now it's 2024. So, you know, you can figure it out. It's they're not brand new. They're very old, and the fact that they're still standing is quite impressive on its own. Let's venture in now. So this is the way we came down before. Try to keep a visual. I don't know how all these roads go, where they go even, but we'll just follow. So we usually go to the left here, so let's go to the right. Let's see what the right has to show for us. Because we've seen the left over there. Let's go down this path on the right and see if we see any more interesting things. And I'm sure we will. And it's kind of like a maze. It kind of pulls you back. We'll continue going up this way because it's not the way we came in. So, yep. Look at that old tree. That's kind of a cliche for a cemetery, right? Looks like the tree's dead. Some birds in there. Now I see that there's a lot more spacing between stones here. I don't know if it's just that there's flat little stones I can't see that are in the grass. Let's go back this way first and see what's back here. Or if it's, it could be that, or it could be just, oh wow, this is quite interesting back here. Looks like something broke, collapsed. Actually, no, looks like somebody's garage or something. Looks like somebody actually dumped something in here, which is very sad. Oh, it's by the train tracks. So there's the industrial tracks. Somebody must have dumped, looks like an antenna and a bunch of broken wood, which is very sad to desecrate a cemetery like that. But unfortunately, it's the world we live in. So we'll continue on here. So this looks like it runs by the trains. You might be able to hear some of that background noise. That's the engines from some of these big trains. Wow. Yeah, there's a train moving on the tracks over there. Interesting. It's not going to be easy to see because of the fence, but wow. I guess so. That is something. That is really something. We'll get back on that road that we were on before. We'll go back around the other side, now go the other way. I just thought it would be cool to come down this section where it looks like cars have driven, but there's not really a paved road. Now, I don't know if that's from the vehicles that work here, the work vehicles, or just people themselves just driving down here. Or this might have been a road at one point because I see a brick outline. But these old cemeteries, not every roads are paved, if you see. Some of the original roads, this is all, the pavement is fairly newer. There was gravel, it looks like, underneath them. And some roads are cobblestone into grass. When I see the next one, I'll show you what I was talking about with that. So this is where we came up before. Let's go the other way now. Let's see the other side. This left here, and then we made another left onto that like dirt road. So what we'll do is we'll go to the right, and that should give us pretty much almost full coverage of the outer perimeter of the cemetery. I mean, it is very big. When I said it's not as big as it's quite big. It goes back pretty far, and you know, like I said, I never come back this far on this way. But what we'll do is, I think there's another path to the right here. Okay, so it splits up. It's another dirt road. Okay. As you can see, this has still a little bit of pavement. I don't know if you can catch those the trains to the left of me. It's the industrial trains that run around the area here through Glendale, where the cemetery is located. Middle Village and Glendale area. And yeah, so this goes back pretty far. I never even knew that. It looks like people do come into the cemetery. They cut a hole in the gate by the train tracks to get in here, and that's not been discovered yet and fixed. I gotta probably let somebody know about that, because that's how desecration of cemeteries occur. People cut openings into the gates, find ways to squeeze between them, get in here, and at night, God only knows what kind of terrible things they do. If they destroy property, if they just do disrespectful things. So, yeah. So I've never actually been down this end of the cemetery before, so this is the first. So don't really know if there's anything interesting down here. See a lot of older graves. That one's just a cross with a piece of wood. This stuff is very old. Look, wow. And I don't know what that is, but that looks like a junkyard. Wow, look at that. Terrible. I wonder where that goes, huh? I don't know if I'm allowed back there, so I'm not going to go anywhere where I risk trespassing or doing something that I shouldn't be doing. It is gated. So I don't know why that's like that. Maybe it's a work area, or maybe they're going to be constructing a new site for a new section. That's what it does look like. It looks like they're trying to expand on that empty land back there. And it looks like they have quite a bit of it. Seeing all the space on the left. I see a building over there. Let's take a look at that. That's interesting. Now I don't know if that's just another entrance or not. Could be a main entrance. Let's have a look. Another mausoleum. That's what it looks like. It looks like two more mausoleums. That's exactly what it looks like, yeah. Two more outdoor mausoleums. Let's take a look at those. These look relatively new. There's a lot of empties. Yeah, 2021. So yeah. These are newer. There's a whole section back here. I bet you they're going to continue on with burials back here. and who knows, maybe even build another one or two of these mausoleums. It's quite interesting. These are not as elaborate as the other one. They're definitely newer built than the other one, from what I can tell. They're just kind of like, there's no cover over them, or they're just kind of out in the open type deal. That's the only section that's covered, and you have the small lip of coverage around the outside edge. But yeah, very nice that they put more mausoleums like that for people that would need them. And there's another, look at that big stone. Wow. And now it looks like we're getting to some of the older section again. And okay, so this cemetery is located next to Christ the King, and that's quite an old one too, 1912. This one's located next to Christ the King, the cemetery, well, the section that I'm at right now. So you'll see on the left there's a daycare and a school, and that's a high school. And that's pretty much it. We covered this whole cemetery for the most part. The outer perimeter, this section of it anyway. And now we can say that we've seen, for the most part, the old section of the Old Fate Cemetery. And I don't want to disturb these people here. It looks like they're having some type of ceremony or maybe session. So before we end the video, we will get to another section. And bug right in my face. And we'll talk about it there. So this is where the other road from where I came in from in the very beginning, just so those wanting to know. Here's another view of probably an old house, warehouse that they don't use anymore, workhouse, and that's that receiving tomb. You see how high up it is. We'll get another viewpoint of that on the way out right now. There's these steps. I wonder where they go to. Looks like they go to nowhere. There might be a section up there. I don't see it though. Nope. Actually, I know where it goes to. It goes up here. We'll take that last look up here, and then we will end this video. Yeah, see the steps, they all go up to the section up there. Okay, yeah, so it's where we came in. So we were able to check out pretty much this whole cemetery for the most part in under an hour. Now, I don't know if the other side is larger or the same size, but that'll be the next video. I will get the other half of the Old Fates Cemetery. And I believe that to be the newer section. On that note, I just want to take a quick vantage point video from up top here. I mean, just look at that view. I mean, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And on that note, I'd just like to thank everybody for watching, and I thank you for your support, and really hope you continue watching these videos. I'm going to do my best to keep them interesting, and my best to add new content as frequently as I can. And if there's anything that you'd want me to go visit, if you're not located in this area, I know I make these videos too for the people that don't live in New York or have very limited time to get here and really, you know, have the time to go around and actually check out all these places. There's a lot of them. There's so many. Just reach out to me, you know, send me a message on the channel or what have you, and I'll try and visit the places that you want to go. I have a couple of great ideas and a couple of new spots that I'm going to check out. I'm going to do mostly the cemeteries to start off, and then after that we'll do other stuff. And I'm not just going to keep it in the city too. There's other places upstate and different areas, and who knows, maybe even out of the state if so I can get the opportunity to do that, to get the bike down there and really start to explore. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And remember, you know, these people deserve to be remembered and treated with the utmost respect and honor. And this is unfortunate way that we all have to go through this at one point in our lives. So, and just keep that in mind, that, you know, savor each day that you have and enjoy when you're alive, because ultimately life is not eternal. And if people like me continue to film and remember these people, we can at least keep them and their memories immortal. And on that note, I want to say thank you once again, and God bless you, and enjoy your day. Okay, I know I just ended the video for the All Faith Cemetery. There's one more spot that I forgot to show everyone, which I think is a unique spot, and it's how I discovered the cemetery to begin with. So I'm going to add this in and edit this video in as a small end piece to the original video, and I'm going to show you guys another section that we missed. I totally forgot this one section. It's beyond the newer section that they added in here, and it's another entranceway, which is, I had no idea when I first discovered how the cemeteries, where they were and where the entrances were and the exits were. I didn't know they were connected, and this was a way to get around quicker, actually. A lot of activity today, probably because of the new burials. Looks like 2 Marines. Must have been a military burial. And let's get this going here. So this is the section from before, the newer section that's in the old section. It's not the actual newer, complete new section. It's kind of the newer section that they put in, or they added to the older graves. Now this might have been the first newer section, I'm not sure. I don't know the entire history, but we made that turn over there. We didn't come all the way up through this way. We did, but then we turned down and around. So just want to show you this last section, which is pretty interesting. And this is how I first entered. The very first time I came in here, I never went through that entrance up on that main road. I didn't know that this was actually part of the same cemetery. And this, as you can see, is still very old, that back on this section, and that's what caught my interest, how old it looked. And just wait until you see how weird this entrance is. It'll be an exit for us now because we're leaving this way, but it's something to see. And if at any part in this video, so you see this long road that goes back here, and I'm just gonna go down there and then we'll come up and I'll show you the exit / entrance. So this rides along the tracks, but when I couldn't go any further because it turned, this looks like a continuation that comes up one of these roads here by the dirt mound, where it looks like they're doing some type of construction. But this is still part of the modern area, so it does look like they're rebuilding or adding to it. But as you can see, this construction site back here, and I'm not going to go that far back because really nothing back there except dirt. So I'll turn around, and when I first came in here, as you can see, there's the There's the tracks. Those are the freight trains, the industrial freight trains that run through the neighborhoods here. And I discovered this entrance and this cemetery pretty much on accident. But isn't that how most discoveries are made, right? But here it is. When you see how there's an entrance to the cemetery beyond the tracks, after the tracks, which is very strange. I've never, unless the cemetery was built before the tracks, but look at this. This is incredible. You don't enter out onto a main road, you enter out onto train tracks and a railway crossing, and there's a couple of small houses that are just like built back here. I think this is pretty wild. As you can see, that car just turned right in there. And it's a very industrial area. But just to give you a head-on view, I'm going to go down this block. Now we're in Glendale. So I'll turn it around so you can see. This is a residential area that just kind of meshes together with industrial. It's interesting. Now, there's a lot of areas in Queens that are like this, especially these old neighborhoods like this, but that's a view. That's just a view right there of, as I was coming up the street, what I saw. I was like, wait a minute, where's that road go? And that's how I discovered it. And there's the old tracks. I mean, they're still in use, actually. But look at that. Ain't that something? And there you go. And that about wraps it up.